All right. Well, welcome back to another episode of Real Estate vs. Technology Unleashed. As there is going to be no specific structure of the episode. It was funny. I just had Dan and Melanie on. We're kind of debriefing. What I didn't tell them, the reason why I'm out of breath is I was actually doing some sets in the gym because my brain needed a break. So I just did some sets and I'm like, oh shit, it's time to go. What's up, Dan? Welcome to the show, man.
Double header today.
Dude, it's been back to back, bro. Like, it's crazy. Yesterday we had 3 episodes, and I'm so excited for today because yesterday, I was actually the day before yesterday. I don't even know what day it is anymore. We were on the one and only Melody show, and she is crushing it in the Bay Area. She actually, back in the day when we called J. Rockcliffe Realtors in the Bay Area, she was there. Now she's at EXP. She's crushing it. She's a new mommy. She's a lover. She's in Walnut Creek, California, and she wants to change the stigma of like, EXP not being a luxury brand. You got to be at Compass. Or you got to be at these boutique type brokerages, which is bullshit.
Yeah,
welcome to the show.
So
Bold and beautiful.
Quite an introduction. Thank you so much, Norman, for having me on the show. I'm super honored and excited to be here today. And yeah, like Norman said, I'm from Walnut Creek, California. I actually moved up here from Southern California when I was about 5 years old. I've been up here ever since. And I got my real estate license in 2014. I started out at Better Homes and Gardens, which used to be Mason McDuffie at the time. And then I moved over to J. Rockcliffe Realtors, like Norman was saying. And at the time when I moved over, I believe it was like 2017 when I moved over from BHG to Rockcliffe. And for me, that was a huge deal because I felt like I was moving up in the real estate world. I was moving up into the luxury market. And I was new. I was like 22 years old, 23 years old at the time. And I was totally new at this, did not come from a real estate family or any type of real estate background at all. And was venturing out on my own to start my own business. And at the time, 23 years old, I had no idea what that meant to run your own business. And here I am walking into this luxury market, which, you know, the median price point in Contra Costa County is about 800,000. And all of these agents, you know, they were just looking at me up and down. They were so reluctant to share their secrets. They were so reluctant to open up their playbooks and to tell me, you know, the things that were working for them or how to get clients or how to host an open house. And I remember that there was one agent, Jim Calhoun, I'll never forget him. He opened up his doors to me and let me into his life and into his business. And he gave me every open house opportunity. And I hosted one of his open houses. A buyer walked in, they go, we're going to use you to write an offer on this house. I wrote a 7-day all cash close for them. And I made my first commission check. And I remember holding my first commission check. It was for $12,000. And I was just looking at it like, oh my God, this is life-changing. And it was only because one person decided to give me an opportunity, and they decided to be open-minded and came from a place of abundance. And they were not, there was no scarcity mindset with Jim. And he taught me everything I know. And I listened in on every phone call he had with his clients. I shadowed him at every broker's tour, every open house. And I was fascinated at the way he communicated with people so seamlessly and how he made everyone walk into a room and made them feel like he's known them his whole life, you know, and so comfortable and so loving. And that's the kind of abundance mindset that I adopted moving forward throughout my 9-year real estate career, because I just realized that like you can either come from scarcity mindset and a closed door policy, or you can come from, you know, abundance, the heart, for sharing, giving, support. And that's what I base my business off today.
Wow. I didn't get the whole story. On your show, I didn't get the whole story. So that was cool.
It's when I send out a letter, when I'm looking to attract, not recruit, certain areas in terms of where we're trying to build our team, I say the number one decision you're making is not what brokerage you're at or what your commission split is. It is who your mentor is and the person that's going to give you their bandwidth, their time, open their book and give you time out of their personal life to show you what they can do to help
Amen.
you build your business. And I think that's super empowering to hear that story. There's not been one person to really bring that up on this podcast.
200 plus episodes.
Yeah, 200 plus episodes. No one said, hey, like how my real estate career started is because somebody meshed with me and was nice enough to show me how to drive in this real estate game.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that, Dan.
Yeah.
So went from J. Rockcliffe Realtors, and then in the pandemic, J. Rockcliffe closed their doors down, just like all the other traditional brokers did at the time, right? And I ended up joining eXp Realty, met Kenny Trong, joined Team Fast. I helped scale Team Fast from 16 agents to 350 agents. I was even a recruiter for him at some point, and ended up leaving Team Fast in January of this year, 2023, to start my own team and start the Growth Community, which is my organization of real estate agents that I'm pouring into right now. So that one person, you're absolutely right, Dan, that one person that took that chance on me and was open enough to let me in and taught me and spent time with me and poured into me is what set the tone for the rest of my business. And now that is my mission. And that is what I'm set out to do for all these new agents coming into the business, because I want them to feel like, yeah, you know what? She took the time to teach me the right way and pour into me. And then they'll go out there and do it for other people. So it's a cool.
I think there needs to be more of that. I mean, there's mentorship programs in every brokerage and training. And, you know, I worked at Keller Williams way back when, and, you know, nothing bad to say about any brokerage, but it really, like, it's like that whole water, I always call it the water cooler, like luck, like who are you going to meet in the kitchen that is like printing somebody off, and you're like, hey, like I have a question about a contract, and then you mesh, and you're basically, it's luck. And it's kind of a messed up thing about the industry is that you're relying on luck or a personality, what's the word? A magnetization of finding somebody that's going to take you under their wing. And no qualms. I'm saying nothing bad about any mentorship or training program, but it really doesn't turn on until you find that mentor.
Yeah.
Doesn't.
Yeah.
Yes, I love it. I'm just going to say, if you're in Oregon, okay, Eugene, Springfield area, hit up Dan Gandy. He'll take care of you. If you're in the Walnut Creek area, hit up Melanie. Links are down below, because if you're a new agent and you want some badass mentorship, I'm just going to call it for what it is. We have two badass mentors right here. I've known Dan for many, many years. Only the short time I've known you, Melody, you're powerhouse. I mean, you're out there with your fucking baby. I saw you. You're like rocking the baby at like what? He's like only like 3 months old, right? Like, how old, you know? And you like rock 2 months. Then she's like rocking the baby in like a live coaching call. I'm like, damn, dude, she's fucking powerhouse mommy, man.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, people come up to me and they're, you know, other moms have come up to me and they're like, I don't know how you do it. I haven't left that. When I had my baby, I didn't leave the house for 6 months. I didn't leave for 1 year. Like, how are you already in Arizona at a real estate training event? And because I was at the Play Bigger Mastermind, that's where I met Norman. Shout out to Raquel Quinnett. And a lot of women were approaching me and they're like, how are you out of the house already? And it's been 8 weeks. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, I don't know any different. This is how I'm wired. You know?
I know why. Because you just did it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I was like, okay, honey, here's what you're going to do. You're going to take the rest of the week off so that I can hop on a plane and go to a training, because I'm committed to growth and I'm committed to running this business at the very highest level. And I'm committed to my people and how I can pour back to them. And this is going to benefit all of us, because if I'm showing up at a high level for myself, then I'm going to show up at a high level for my family. So I just did it.
Wow.
Tremendous. It's and so as you take this, you know, experience and turning it into your own experience now, right? You were at Team Fast and now you're molding into your own path. Like, what are like the biggest obstacles that you're seeing in your journey as you branched off?
Oh yeah, that's a really good question, Dan. There's many obstacles Okay, many obstacles, but I would say that the biggest obstacle is personal development, right? Because there's so many, I mean, the real estate world is already very competitive and it's very fierce. But then when you branch out into the recruiting world, I mean, it gets even more competitive and even more fierce. And how do I come from a wonderful, amazing team with some of the best leaders in the entire company, which is Team Fast and Kenny Trong and Elias Sestudo and everything that those guys got going on over there. And then their operations team, Molly Jordan, Karina, like these amazing people that are so experienced and such amazing leaders and very well known. And, you know, I identified with Team Fast so much over the last 2 years that I was scared that that's what I was going to be known for the rest of my life, just Team Fast. And I was never going to be known for who I am as a person, as an individual outside of Team Fast. And I got to the point where, you know, I loved them and I grew with them over the last 2 years and they helped me so much, but I wanted to grow and branch out and create something of my own. And I need to be so on top of my game and I need to be such a good leader and have so much self-awareness in order to be able to stand out on my own outside of that as one person without identifying myself with that team and that mega power icon team, right? And so I think the biggest challenge was, how do I build something for myself? Well, the first thing that you have to do is you have to develop into the best version of yourself that you can be, and you have to pour into your self development. And so I've been reading a lot of books. I got a ton of great recommendations at the Play Bigger Mastermind. I've been talking to other people that are creating their own teams and their own communities. I created the growth community out here in the Bay Area for new agents that want a place to come learn and grow. And I started saying to myself, how can I show up and pour into other people? How can I be of value? How can I be of contribution to other people? What's missing? And how can I create spaces and rooms that I want to be in and that I wish I was invited to, but for other people, right?
Wow.
So I think that's the best way to say it. And I just got really sick and tired of building for other people all the time. I wanted to build something of my own. And it's hard, it's easier said than done, of course, and it's still a work in progress, but I'm getting better and better every day. And it's like, how can I break this down into bite-sized pieces and get 1% better every day, right? That's by helping one more person. It's by having one more conversation. It's about creating one more room where someone could show up and benefit from it. And this morning we had a growth community mastermind call, and it was about how to track your numbers. And we had probably about 8 to 10 people show up, and we poured so much value into that room, and there was so much amazing energy into that room that I'm still getting text messages on my phone and Instagram DMs of people saying, wow, thank you so much for creating this space, because I didn't know how bad I needed this. Right.
Wow.
So that's how you know that, like, okay, I think I'm on the right track here. I think I'm doing something right.
Sometimes it takes that, sometimes training, mentoring, coaching, having team meetings, right? It can be, some of it is repetitive, right? Because you're going through the motions and accountability and things. But shout out to Bill Davis, EXP.
Oh yeah, I love Bill, and his wife Grace. She's amazing. I love her.
I actually showed in one of my team meetings, like he had his Monday Mayhem, and they booked like 80 some appointments or something crazy, right?
Yeah, 9 appointments. I'm at the Walnut Creek office right now. I was here when they were doing it, and they had 89 appointments. It's still on the whiteboard right outside.
Wow. Yeah. And I literally, like, I shared that with my team yesterday, and I was like, listen, guys, I booked 7 appointments just last week. Where are you guys at? Like, this should motivate you. This team does it in one day, right? Same size team. Like, you guys got to crush. And once the commission checks come in, you won't fear the call. right?
Yeah.
So it's using the velocity of your content and how you can get people to be motivated, but also it's not just about motivating them to make more money. They're going to be able to take care of their family and change their life. So
yeah, absolutely. It's like, I think I was in, Valencia Key, she was a keynote speaker at the Play Bigger event. And I remember she was talking to us and she was saying, do you know the impact that you're having on someone's life by creating home ownership for them and giving them the keys to their first house? Not only are you giving that person the gift of home ownership, but you're also gifting that to all of their children, because now they know that mommy and daddy, they own a home. You know, they're that mentality of renting versus owning. Well, mommy and daddy own our home. They put a roof over my head. They're owners. They're not renters. And that's not to say that leasing or renting is bad. I mean, we all have to start somewhere. Like, I leased for many years before I purchased my first house with my husband. But that's just to say that, that whole psychology of owning a home and then having your kids witness that, and then that breeds a culture of future homeowners, because they're going to do what mommy and daddy did, and they're observing and they're watching you, right? You just changed 7 generations after you, because all of those people are now going to become homeowners, and the impact that has on generations after you. And all you did was just hand someone the keys and help one family, but that's going to help so many families.
Amen.
So
it's almost like that story of like, I don't know if anybody's had the same occurrence happen, but you're growing up, your grandparents get older. Unfortunately, they pass away. And then all of a sudden there's a house there. Right. And you're like, oh, does grandma and grandpa have a mortgage? Like, no, it's been paid off since like 1978. And you're like, how's that even possible? Right. As a kid. Right. And then, but you sell it and now all this money gets distributed.
Yes.
Throughout the family. And you're like, wow, that's paying for literally this happened to me. Like, it paid for 2 semesters at college.
Wow.
Right. And like that home ownership, if it wasn't home ownership, it would have never done that.
Yeah.
Now I'm in debt. Right. So people need to realize that impact 30, 40, 50 years ago, and then starting that journey it has impact for everyone.
Ever.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. And I just got to say really quick, Melanie, you're a force to be reckoned with. I mean, Dan asked you that question. You took it like a champ. You have a huge, tall order to fill because you left Team Fast and you're building your own thing. And you're with EXP, building a luxury brand out of EXP in a very tough market. We're talking about average medium home sales price has to be in Alamo over $2 million. I can imagine now. Walnut Creek, I mean, you could speak to that better than I can. It's your market. But you obviously you're going to do it. I already know. I could tell with your tenacity that you're going to make it happen, and you're setting yourself up for that journey. So let's kind of shift a little bit. How do you intend to get into that luxury market and change that status quo for this EXP brand that people say that it's like a MLM or, discount broker or whatever, which isn't the case. I mean, you are the brand and you're an amazing human being. So I would use you, buying or selling in your market. So what are some of your thoughts?
Well, thanks, Norman. I think the first thing that comes to my mind is knowing that some people won't change, right? Some people won't change their mind about EXP. Some people are okay with the fact that they will use a Coldwell Banker or a Remax or, a Compass, and there's always going to be that percentage of people that will just go with that brand name, right? And I was talking to someone about this the other day. They're like, you know what? I don't think EXP is ever going to be known as a luxury brokerage in the Contra Costa County market, and I'm okay with that. And I was like, yeah, I get that. I understand that. But at the end of the day, EXP does have a luxury department. We just rolled out with EXP Luxury. It's a new department that we have within the EXP brand, and that's not used enough. So my intention is to put that EXP logo, that EXP Luxury logo on all of my listings moving forward. My median price point for my own volume is about 1 million. So I'm going to use that EXP Luxury marketing on all of my pieces. And also, I'm going to start doing a lot of content around the luxury market as well, and start highlighting all of the different luxury neighborhoods and really breaking that down on my Instagram, on my Facebook, on my YouTube channel, and creating these different informational guides, which I know you and I were talking about this, Norman, how you're going to help us with creating some of those guides. And I'm really excited about that. But I think just getting out there, being more visible, being more predominant in this area, and then creating events around that as well, and being more visible within the community, which the growth community is definitely going to be more and more visible. Just give us, a little bit of time and we'll be on the map.
Wow. I always used to laugh about the whole brand thing, because you hit it the nail on the head. You were like, some people are going to hire those brokerages just because that's who they've used in the past or whatever reason. But I use EXP. I used to be at EXP, and nothing bad to say, nothing bad at all. But in my market, like, everyone was just laughing about EXP for years, right? And now it's like the most volume of listings is starting to turn to EXP agents, both in Douglas County and Lane County, and they're starting to build market share, and awesome. But I'm over here with Real Broker. I'm the only Real Broker team in the entire 3-4 counties.
Well, that's like an opportunity, right?
Yeah, right. I put the logo out on a billboard. I got logos on my sign. People are like, "Who the hell is Real?" I'm like, "It's the fastest growing real estate brokerage." And then they're like, "Well, if you move to them, there's a reason, right?" And then so let's go, right? You can be successful at any brokerage, but I have dealt with that same brand identity issue, and I always say it still comes back to the relationship. Like, if you're the best agent or they connect with you, they could care less if you were at like McDonald's Realty. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right. If McDonald's had a real estate company, which
you never know.
They probably do, and we don't know about it.
Yeah.
Totally. So
I love that.
Last question for me. I know we've touched a bunch of different things, but when it comes to the growth community and getting an agent from baby steps to being a toddler in real estate, to closing their first buy side deal, and then getting them progressed into listing side, like, how do you navigate that process? And it's been a learning experience for me, right? I dissected and documented the entire buy side of the transaction. I have them shadow me. I go through all of the steps. But when it comes down to the offer being written, or, "Hey, Dan, I have a listing," there's the panic that happens when they're a new agent.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing in order to streamline the training and build a better, faster moving engine?
Yeah. So I absolutely love this question, Dan, and thank you for asking. So there's just a couple of different phases that they're going to go through, right? And not all of them are going to have 100% to do with me, which is why I love the company that I'm at, because I get to leverage my people, right? So not that this is an EXP pitch, but everybody knows when you sign up with EXP, you're going to get assigned a mentor, right? So there goes half of the training right there. The company handles it. They're going to sign up with a mentor for the first 3 transactions. The company is going to pay the mentor, and they're going to work with them until they graduate out of the mentorship program, from anything from learning how to write a contract, learning how to write an offer, learning how to go on a listing appointment. How do you fill out the listing agreement? What do you do? What do you say? All of those things, you get assigned a mentor as a brand new agent. And then when it comes to the training side, as far as like social media, content creation, video creation, how do you get out of your shell? How do you get on video? How do you get in front of a camera and be comfortable? That's kind of where I come in, because that's my specialty, right? So for the growth community members, when they join, they already have an entire 1-month schedule laid out for them of what different trainings, different events, and different photo shoots that we're going to offer you to kind of hit the ground running. So a perfect example of this is Jessica Hernandez. She's a brand new, actually, she's not even licensed yet. She's still waiting for her exam date, right? Like, that's how new she is. She just passed and got all her certifications, practice principles, all those things. And she's waiting for her test date. So Jessica is in her 20s. She's got a 12-year-old daughter. She's a hustler. She owned a online boutique through Instagram. She sold clothes, and she has that entrepreneur mindset, right? So she's like ready to go. She's showing up to all the coaching calls. She's showing up to all the trainings. She's taking notes. She's on all of the calls. She's amazing. And Jessica came in the other day. I was like, listen, as soon as you get your license number, here's what we're going to do. First of all, every Thursday, we have the Growth Community Mastermind calls. That's going to be from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And every single week is going to be a different trainer. Every topic is going to give you something of value that you're going to take notes on. You're going to apply it into your business. So for example, this morning it was how to track your business like a boss. It was all about numbers, tracking data, CRMs, different KPIs that we're using right now to get ahead as a business owner. Next week is going to be with NECA Jenkins. Shout out to NECA. She's with Onyx Wealth Realty with real estate experts. She's going to come on to the group coaching call, and she's going to talk about how to get $1 million listing, right? So because our price points are so high in the Bay Area, you're probably going to come across a couple of people that own a home that's worth at least $1 million. So how do you land that listing, and how do you procure it and get it signed, and what do you say? What do you do? Right. So she's going to walk us through that. So this is going to be great information for Jessica to learn. Also, what we do is we do monthly content shoots. So every month, I've gotten a photographer to come out. They're going to sponsor the event, right? So I'm not paying for it. They're sponsoring the event. They're going to do a photo shoot for all of my agents, in my downline, and they're going to offer them fresh new real estate content, fresh new headshots, some lifestyle reels where they could stand there and, educate the consumer on their social media by doing a reel. He's going to coach them through it, exactly what to say. And shout out to Kenny for putting together these amazing content rooms in our Walnut Creek office, because I'm sitting in one right now. This is like the hot pink room. We have all these different branded rooms where every room is a different color, different staging, different vibes. So this room is going to be different than the 4 or 5 other rooms that we have. We have a green room, a royal blue room, an orange room, a yellow room. So we have all these different rooms that are staged, ready to go. Get the photographer to show up. All the agent needs to do is show up, be dressed, hop into one of the rooms that vibes with their personality type, sit down, take a couple of photos, and boom, you have some social media content, right? I also got a makeup artist. He's my friend. He worked at MAC Cosmetics for years and years. And I said, hey, would you mind coming out, doing some free makeup for the girls, get them comfortable with getting in front of camera? Because, we want to give them some confidence. We want to give them a little pep in their step, and nothing better than getting your makeup done to get in front of a camera lens, right? And all of these are sponsored, by the way. So the makeup artist comes, the girl gets her makeup done, then she does her photo shoot. Now she's got some social media content, and she can post that with confidence, knowing, ooh, I look good. I can post this on my social media. Like, look at how cute I look. And then when it comes to like the copyright, obviously AI right now is taken off. They don't even have to think about it. They just get into chat GPT. The post is already written for them. Like, for example, I just did a social media post on Monday about the 5 hottest date night restaurants in downtown Walnut Creek. And a chat GPT spit it out for me, gave me the 5 bullet points, threw in the hashtags in there, and I just posted it on my social media. Like, so as a new agent, it's so easy when you're a part of this community. And by the way, I don't spend any money on the photography. I don't spend any money on the makeup artist. And obviously I have an office to provide, which is great, but this is free sponsorship, and it's exposure for my photographer, because now all of these agents, when they get their listings, guess who they're going to call? They already know John. He's a photographer. They have a relationship with him. Now he's got this network of real estate agents that he knows, and it's a familiar face, right? So they're going to be like, oh, we're going to use John because he was so nice to us that one day during our content shoot, right?
I just stop you there for a second, because there's something funny that happened. So I tried to implement one of those days where I reached out to a photographer. I have a photographer on staff, but he was busy. So I reached out to another one, and I was like, hey, it'd be awesome to have you do this. And it'd be awesome if you could do it for free. And then I'll basically pitch it to the 18 agents on my team. Like, they can use you, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, you're not paying me? Sorry. And I'm like, no. Automatic shutdown. Like I was like, see you later. Have a great day. So you're finding people with the same abundance mindset. That's all I want to do.
Yes, 100%.
Yes.
And here's the thing, Dan, is it's not like they're doing it for free. They're getting their name out there in front of a whole pool of real estate agents that never knew that they existed before, right? So here's what I offer them. I say, hey, if you're going to sponsor my event, here's where you're going to show up. You're going to show up on every single weekly newsletter at the bottom of the newsletter with your headshot, your Instagram, and your logo that goes out to these 4,000 agents every single Sunday morning or Monday morning. And then you're going to go out on the reminder, the follow-up event, right? Meet our sponsors. You're going to go out on the Instagram post that comes out. Hey, thank you so much to our sponsors. We can't wait to see you at the event. And then the follow-up post event is going to be, they're right at the bottom of the screen on the newsletters, on all of my Instagram posts, my Facebook posts, they're there. So that's like 5 or 6 times that they're showing up in front of all of these agents, and these agents are going to go follow them. They're going to meet them in person. They're going to build a relationship. They're going to know who they are. They're going to use them, and it's free exposure. It's free marketing. And whoever doesn't want free marketing, like, sorry, we can't be friends, because I always want free marketing.
It's like half pay it forward, and then like half like I'm going to put everybody on credit. Like I'm going to get a return on this, but I'm going to take gas money, and you know what I mean? Like your bandwidth, your time. And then it's amazing how so many people, like even with like mentorship calling or helping people, they're like, oh, like what's it pay, or what are you going to pay me? And it's like, wait, like you're going to get a deal or something's going to happen. Maybe not all the time, but if you treat your business guarded of constant, what am I getting out of this? That is where people fail.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes.
And most people do operate from that space. Like 90% of people probably operate from that space, and that's okay. You just move on to the next person. And I go through so many people and I ask them all the time. And some people are busy and they can't do it, but some people are more than happy to do it. And that's great. And that's going to be my go-to people. And so the next thing that I also offer the agents in the growth community is a monthly book club. So not everyone is inclined to get in front of a camera lens and is easily as confident in front of camera, I mean. And so some people are like, hey, I just want to grab a cup of coffee and read, because I'm a bookworm and I'm a nerd like that. And that's my style. And I'm like, hey, like I can vibe with that too. Let's show up, huddle up, hot coffee shop. In Walnut Creek is Tellus Coffee. It's like this hot new sexy place. Everyone likes to get together there. There's all these succulents and palm trees inside, and there's like these neon signs all over the wall. So it's a great social media opportunity as well. And we get together. We're actually doing our first book club next month on June 6th. And we're going to read the book 12 and a Half by Gary Vee. So we're going to do the monthly new home tours, where I actually rented out a Sprinter van, and we're going to go in caravan, and we're going to go see all of the new builds in the area in Contra Costa County. And each month we're going to build a new community. I mean, we're going to go out there and we're going to preview a new community, and we're going to learn about all of these new construction homes together. And then we can post about it on our social media. It's free exposure for that new build community. And it's also content for us to post as well as a real estate community. So there's a lot of different opportunities for new agents to plug in. And this is just since January, I've come up with this. So it's going to get better and better. Obviously, we'll change things and tweak things as we go. Some of it will work, some of it won't work, but I just know that I like to create a fun environment for people to come, and we're like a family, and we just get together and we share ideas, we support each other, we grow together, we learn together. And that's how we kind of get into the growth community.
I love it. I just text Terrence Heaps. I think that's his shop, because I remember he talked about a couple years back that he was going to do something like that in Walnut Creek. He was my mentor for a while, and we talked about that. And it just reminded me. So I was like, hey, let me just check in with Terrence real quick. And this guy's a super analytical, super cool dude. And if I can get you two connected, it'd be cool you gotta get a podcast with him.
Yeah, that's awesome. I would love to connect with him. So he's the owner of Tellus?
Maybe. I don't know 100%.
Oh,
but he told me he had a coffee shop he was building in Walnut Creek. I haven't been there. We haven't talked in a while. The last message I sent to him was like in February of 2022. But randomly he'll call me and we'll talk and we'll chat and whatever. And when I used to live in Walnut Creek, he was mentoring me and whatnot. And he made Baby Bay and had a couple different outfits and whatnot. And he's doing really well as far as a successful entrepreneur. So thanks for the reminder. I wanted to put that out there.
Love it.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
That's awesome. I mean, for anyone who's viewing and watching, like you are in the greater Bay Area and you want a turnkey solution. Like, I mean, Dan just asked a question. Melanie just like dropped it like it was hot. Like, this is what it is. Like A through Z, this is the training. This is what you're getting. And I feel like to build the momentum, what you're doing is perfect. And that's awesome that Kenny Team Fast is still a big component to help you become more successful in what you want to do. And you have such an amazing office. And I actually just booked my trip. So I want to come to your office and I want to check you out. I'll be out there the 27th of June until the 4th of July. So, I mean, we already talked about coming to your house and hanging out personally, but I want to also come to that office.
Yeah, for sure. You can come to the office anytime. It's actually really cool. And I'm so excited that with the, the combination of what Kenny's built and what I'm building, everyone that joins the growth community can leverage Team Fast and they can leverage offices and, and so on and so forth. So it's like, everyone 7 levels above me and all of the value from the fast forward movement and everything. Dan and Kyle and all those guys are building. Mary Maloney, they're all great friends of mine. And I attend all of their training calls and all of their Monday morning mastermind calls. And everyone that signs up for the growth community gets all of that offered to them as well. So they can plug into the growth community. They can plug into things that Team Fast has going on. They can plug into the fast forward movement. There's just so many different things that agents can plug into nowadays. And it's crazy because I look back on it now, 22-year-old Melody getting her real estate 2014. I didn't have access to any of this. I remember walking to a real estate office and everyone just shutting their doors and being like, good luck, kid, like kind of giving me that look in the hallway and like wanted nothing to do with me. And now I'm like, to see how real estate has changed in 10 short years from when I started to today, it's just crazy. Like, it's just, we have so many things to offer agents now. They don't know how good they have it. So if you plug into this environment, you're bound to be successful. The only way that you are not going to be successful in this business with all of these resources and tools available to you is if you just simply don't show up.
Yeah. I think one of the biggest mistakes I made when I went to EXP, and that's the only reason I'm not at EXP, is that I didn't plug in to Team Fast and that fast forward movement. I picked the wrong sponsor.
Well, I'm here for you, Dan. You can always come
on. It's over with now, but people have to, they have to look at those organizations and what those people are at and who's doing it above Kenny, right? Like that Daniel Beer and Kyle and all those people, like I didn't have that access to that high level of performance. Not to say that the people above me weren't performers, they just weren't at that level. And I think that's super huge for anybody even connecting with you. It's massive.
Definitely. Yeah, I think that the people that, I mean, again, this isn't an EXP pitch, but I feel like the people that aren't successful at EXP or leave with a bad taste in their mouth just simply didn't have the right sponsor. And I think that that's why it's so important how you choose who you're aligned with in this company, because who you choose, who you line up with is going to basically mean if, it's basically going to set you up for success. And if you don't choose the right person, then, it's just going to kind of leave a bad taste in your mouth and you're going to want to leave. So that's the only time I've seen it happen.
Yeah. No, it's there's pros and cons of every type of brokerage model. And I think that you hit the nail on the head. And I think that's, there's so many pros, but that being just a small con. But if it's like the wrong con, they're gone. So,
Yep.
but yeah, I think there's a lot to value here, and you're surrounded by some good mentors and people who can really change. I mean, they're doing things. They're the movers and shakers. So
yeah, and I'm really excited too, because I was telling Norman the other day, I said, I'm doing all of these things, and there's so many different things that I have going on and that I'm doing with the growth community, that it's so nice to know I'm going to have Liftoff Agent come in and help me and help me scale the business, because like there's so many things we don't have yet. There's so much infrastructure and back end things that we don't have yet, since, we're just getting started, but I'm excited to see where all of this is going to grow to and go to.
Dude, we're excited to be a part of your journey. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
We're excited to be a part of your journey. Terrence said he owns the AlamoLeverCoffee.com. So
okay.
that's his outfit. So unfortunately, not that one. But
Okay.
I could hook you up with that coffee shop, not too far from Walnut Creek. And I'm really excited. Like, you talked about the 10 years. And I can only imagine what's going to happen in the next 12 months. Dan, we have to have Melanie back on in 12 months. And I want to see the change. I want to see the growth. I want to keep you accountable, at this level to then even you've been able to use this podcast for your new website, for your YouTube channel, share it with the agents that are going to be coming on, because they get to hear it firsthand, right? No EXP plug, whatever. Like, this is just us authentically asking you questions and you being like, this is what it is.
Yeah.
So we really appreciate you being on today. In closing, though, what would you like to leave for our viewers and listeners as we end up the show here? I think you'll apply to their business today. Anything?
Yeah, I think the biggest message for today, for me at least, is how bad do you want it? And how are you going to show up in the world? And when you show up for yourself and when you pour into yourself, you can only be better and you can only grow as a person. And the more self-aware you get and the more educated you are, then you're going to show up at a high level for the other people around you and for your family and for your friends and for your children. And that's the biggest thing is, I have a 2-month-old at home, and I know we were talking about this the other day, Norman, but I feel like how he views me as his mom is going to determine who his future partner is going to be and how he picks the women in his life. And I want to make sure that I'm showing up at a high level, not only for him, but for myself and for everyone around me. So make sure you're always pouring into yourself and getting 1% better every single day.
Love it. How's it over here? Trying to text my phone. I had like 87 texts that came in like 3 minutes. I don't know.
Oh, wow, Mr. Popular.
The world's ending.
No, it's like my phone sometimes with iMessage just messes up, but then it's like brain turns back on, and all of a sudden it's like so.
It's like, what the hell is going on? That's crazy.
Yeah. So no, great to meet you, Melody. I think like Norm said, let's have you back on, and I look forward to following your journey. I just followed you on Instagram. If you ever get up this way in Oregon, let me know, and let's catch up.
Yeah, definitely. Oregon is beautiful. I would love to come up there.
Awesome,
man. Thank you so much, Melanie. You're amazing. Thank you to our guests. Feedback, hey, down below, comment below. What's up? Links down below for Dan. Links down below for Melanie. If you're in Oregon, hit up Dan. If you're in the Bay Area, Walnut Creek, Alamo, hit up Melanie. And as it is always our intention for you to take things from episodes, apply your business, have more massive success. Hit that subscribe button, notification bell.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Of course.